Jill, what do you make of this line of questioning by the FBI in asking about connections specifically to lawmakers?
It's clear that they suspect and may have significant evidence that we haven't seen revealed yet that members of Congress actually cooperated with the insurrectionists. We have already had rumors of them showing the insurrectionists around the Capitol, explaining where things are and how they could get in. So it seems like it would be something that should be frightening to members of Congress. It also mentions the staff of members of Congress. So that's where I think we're going. And it's also horrible that this footage, which is terrible to look at, is a former New York City policeman and a former Marine. That's a shame.
I do want to talk to you about that video. Like the body cam footage we showed earlier, it's being used by the DOJ in these court cases against writers. What does that reveal about how prosecutors are using evidence to press charges against participants in the attack?
This is a big, long investigation. I think we're now up to about 500 defendants. And it's through going painstakingly through body cam footage and selfies that were posted on that day. I mean, how do you expect you're not going to get caught when you boast that you were inside the Capitol? How do you think you're not going to get caught when you take a flagpole and attack police with it? So I think we're going to see the numbers go up even more, because I'm not good at estimating crowd size, but that's more than 500 people who attacked the Capitol.
Well, and it is much more than a normal peaceful day at the Capitol. I mean, how do these horrific videos push back against the way that Republicans are now trying to rewrite the narrative of what happened on that day?
It's unbelievable for the statement that this was just a normal group of tourists coming in. If you didn't know what it was, you would think that's what it was. That's absurd. And what's scary to me, more than that a member of Congress said that, is that thousands, maybe millions of people actually believe that, despite what they see with their own eyes. You've shown enough video on your show alone that makes it absolutely clear who the attackers were in their MAGA hats, in their Trump flags, with their Confederate flags. And people need to see and believe their own eyes, not believe what they're hearing on other sources of media, social media and cable networks that don't broadcast the truth.
Jill,
this is real footage.
Jill, I want to underline something here, which is that the charges against Webster and other defendants, they aren't unique. Are prosecutors seeking to establish a pattern of violence? And if so, what would that then mean for the overall investigation?
I think ultimately what you put together is a pattern or practice, as you would in a police case as well, police violence, is that you have possible conspiracy because you see people acting in the same manner. You also have people who all did the same thing, who all said, I'm here because Donald Trump sent me. And so I think they may be building not just a case for illegal entry into the Capitol, but for actual violence against people and property, and part of who the responsible people are for having planned the attack and having instigated it. So it could be a major case, not just individual wrongdoing.
All right, Jill, I promised everyone, because, this is a thing on Twitter, and now I want to make it a thing on television, for you to tell us about the pin that you have chosen for today's segment.
So for today, I, of course, thought about January 6th, but I'm actually wearing a pin that is a World War I or II, and if someone in the audience knows whether it's one or two, I'd be happy to know, where you had a picture of your loved one who was overseas saving America. It says, for victory. And I am celebrating Juneteenth because today is Juneteenth, and I think it's so important that we celebrate what it represents and that we all understand the history of our country and why it took over 2 years for slaves in Texas to find out that they were actually freed more than 2 years before this Juneteenth celebration. So let's all say Happy Juneteenth and celebrate it. And so I've converted this World War I or II pin into a Juneteenth pin.